Good day, learners. My name is Bangbelu O. Adeola. You are welcome to Kaduna State e-learning program. Today, we are going to study computer. And under this subject, we are going to consider a topic, computer system software. A topic, computer system software. Under this computer system software, we are going to consider the definition of computer software, type of the software that we have, and finally, example of system software. Before we go into the definition, we are going to consider a program. What is a program? A program is the list of instructions given to the computer to perform a particular task. Now that we understand what a program is all about, learners, let's go straight to the word computer software. What do we understand by the computer software? It is the collection of computer programs, procedure, and the documentation that perform different tasks on a computer system. Again, computer software is the collection of computer programs, procedures, and documentation that perform different tasks on a computer system. If you can understand what computer system software is all about, now we have different type of computer software. And don't forget that this software is being written by a programmer. Somebody like me, and as a teacher cannot write it only if I undergo the process of writing a program. And at the same time, a computer developer can be another person that can write a program. And mostly these are programs or software is being written in a CD. If you know all this, let's go straight to the type of software that we have. We have two types of software, system software and application software. We are going to concern mostly on this system software. For the subsequent classes, we are going to consider application software. But for today, we are only going to consider system software. What do we understand by system software, learners? This is a computer software that is designed to operate the computer hardware, which can be your printer, which can be your monitor, and to provide and maintain a platform for running application software. In this sense, it's telling you that I'm telling you that without system software, there is no way you can run your application software successfully. Because application software is based on the particular need or desire of a user. Now, if you know that, learners, we have different basic types of software. One, operating system software. Two, utility software. Three, language translators. Again, operating system software, utility software, and finally, language translator software. What did we understand by operating system? Operating system is a software consisting of programs and data that runs on computers, manages the computer hardware resources, and provides common services for each execution of various application software. Meaning that your operating system is in charge of the affairs of your tasks. Is the one in charge of the affairs of your computer system. And operating system is the first one that will come up whenever you run your system. So it is the first loaded on the computer. Without the operating system, a computer is useless. Your computer is what? Is useless when there is no existence of operating system. Now let's go to the type of operating system that we have. We have a graphical user interface. Another one, command-based type of operating system. We have single user or single tasking operating system. Another one, single user multitasking operating system. Another one is multi-user stroke multitasking operating system. Finally, the network operating system. If we can grab that, let's now explain them briefly. When you are talking of graphical user interface operating system, this is operating system of this class have interaction with feature which makes them user friendly. Like this type of operating system, we make use of mouse to interact. When if it comes to the use of your handset, you will be seeing cursor moving. So he's talking about graphical representation. And the example of this type of operating system are Microsoft, Windows, Linux, etc. Now, if you look at it, it's your cursor that will be directing you. It's your cursor that will be pointing to what you really needed. Truly, it's a graphical representation. Now, let's go to the next type of operating system that we have. We have a command-based operating system. When you look at command-based operating system, it's black in color. The screen is black, but it involves commands. Now, as a system, it communicates via a command utility, as I've said. Special commands are used to access their features. This type of operating system requires an expert. A novice cannot just make use of it because it requires a lot of tasks before you can successfully work on this type of operating system. The example of this type of operating system are Microsoft DOS, Unix. In this type of operating system, you have to use command, which is Microsoft DIX operating system. Now, learners, we are going to the next type of operating system. It is single user operating system or single tasking. These operating systems are made for only a single unit. Like as you are at home, making use of your computer. It's meant for you alone. And it cannot be shared by many computers joined together. Example of this type of operating system is Microsoft DIX operating system. Some version of Windows operating system is another type, and so on and so forth. Now, single user multitasking. It's still saying about operating system made for a single unit of a computer, not more than one computer, but has a facility of handling many operations at a time. It has a facility of handling many operations at a time, in the sense that you can be printing, you can be playing games, and so on and so forth. What are the examples of this type of operating system? Is operating system Microsoft, concurrent DIX operating system, and so on and so forth. Now let's go to another type of operating system. This is multi-user or multitasking. These operating systems are made for use in a network environment. Where many computers are joined together. An example of this, Unix and Xenix. Then finally is network operating system. Network operating system links computers and users together, whereby you have a lot of computer depending on a server, a big server, in which I will be working on my own system, another person will be working on his or her own system, like that, till when you achieve your aim. This common example of this operating system includes Windows NT, Windows Server, and so on and so forth. Now, the second type of system software that we have is utility software or program. This is the program that carries out some of the common tasks which are needed by the computer user. When we are talking of utility software, we are talking of the type of software that is in charge, that is controlling any error that might likely come up in the computer system. And some of these tasks are the copying of data from one storage to another, backing up files, repairing computers, and so on and so forth. And what are the type of utility software that we use? Your antivirus, whenever your system corrupts, you use antivirus to remove it. We have also utility. We have Windows Explorer, we have Candice and editors. They are the type of utility software that we have. Now, language translator, which is the last type of system software that we have. When you are talking of language, I believe you understand. All of us knows quite all right that computer only understand a particular language, which is the language of binary, meaning 1 and 0. Anything that is being sent to the system has to be converted. You have to change it from that language to the right language that your computer understands. Now, I said a language translators are the programs that interpret the instruction given to the computer so that the computer can understand it and act on it. Example of this language that needs to be converted is the high-level languages. High-level languages, they are our Fortran, they are called Basic, they are COBOL, they are Pascal, they are Assembler, Visual Basic, C++, etc. If you now understand the type of languages that needs to be converted, now let's move to the type of language translators that we have. 1, we have an assembler. 2, we have compiler. And finally, let's try to know that the final one is an interpreter. Now, let's describe each one of them. An assembler converts a program, assembly program into a machine code, which I said is the language that your system understands. Also known as the object code or object code. The second type of translator that we have is our compiler. A compiler is a program that translates high-level language into machine codes before execution. The Turbo Pascal compiler, for example, translates a program written in Pascal into machine language, code that can be run on a computer. Interpreter is the last type of translator, language translator that we have. An interpreter is also a program that translates high-level language, which can be COBOL, which can be Pascal, before the execution. Don't forget that the difference between the two is that a compiler and an interpreter is that an interpreter translates line at a time, meaning that it will go from one beginning to the end while interpreting, from the beginning to the end of each line while interpreting. But a compiler will translate everything at once. So the difference between the two of them is totally clear to you learners, because you might be asked in an examination that you should differentiate between an interpreter and a compiler. Don't forget that interpreter translates from the beginning to the end, meaning that line by line, while a compiler will interpret everything once and for all. Learners, I believe you've learned something. Before I will come to the end of the class, I will try and summarize all what I've said so far. I've told you that you have to consider a program in which I said is the instruction given to the computer to perform a particular task. And the collection of all these programs and the procedure follows, at the same time the documentation to perform different tasks in a computer is what we call our computer system software. When you know this, it will not be difficult for you to know the types of software that we have, which I said system software and application software. You've understood that system software is the type of software that you cannot do without before you can make use of your system. And this system software prepare a platform for your application software to be able to work effectively. If you know that, system software, I told you, they are of three types. Learners, don't forget, they are of three types. One, operating system software, utility software, and finally, the language translators. If you can understand that now, learners, I believe I've impacted something. And I believe whenever they ask you to differentiate between compiler and interpreter, you will not make mistake. Interpreter executes line by line, while your compiler executes together everything at a stretch. If you can understand that, I believe you will not have any issue whenever a question on operating system is being given to you in an examination. Now, before I will still remind you of the type of operating system that we have. Here are graphical user interface, command-based operating system, single user or single tasking operating system, multi-user, multitasking operating system, network operating system. Don't forget all this. They are very, very important. Now, before I will leave, I will leave you with some questions, which on your own, you have to try and prepare yourself towards it. After you finish this, don't forget that you are to give it to somebody that will really mark you wrong or right. Meaning that you are going to send them to my WhatsApp number or you text me. The assignments are: 1, define software. 2, list the types of software you have. 3, list and explain 3 different types of system software that we have. Final assignment is: give 3 examples each of the type of system software discussed. I will still try to read the assignment for you again in case you come in late. 1, define software. 2, list the types of system software you know. 3, list and explain 3 different types of system software. Finally, give the 3 examples each of the types of system software discussed above. Meaning, from the system, the type of system software you will discuss about in question 3. If you are clear, I will refer you to some textbooks that will help you further. 1, Computer Studies for Senior Secondary School by HIIT PLC. The second textbook is Model Computer Studies for Secondary School by MG Sani. Computer Studies for Senior Secondary School by HIIT PLC. Model Computer Studies for Secondary Schools by MG Sani. Don't forget that my name still remains as Pagbelu O Adeola. And this is my contact number on the screen: 080-3600-3145. I will call the number again. Pagbelu O Adeola, 080-3600-3115. Don't forget that you have to stay home, stay safe, and keep learning. COVID-19 is real. Till we meet during the next class, in which we are going to discuss application software. I believe I've discussed a little about it during the system software. But next class, we are going to discuss about it fully. I mean application software. I will leave you to prepare yourself, and I will be expecting the results of the assignments being given to you through the number that I've kept on the screen for you. Bye for now. Stay safe.